Hello everyone, hope you all are doing good. Yes, so we are back again with a new session. So last session was about the basic understanding of a website, right? What are domain names, so to say, what are domain extensions. We discussed about what is a web server, and then finally, very importantly, we saw what are web hostings, right? Different types of web hosting services that can be offered, right? And so moving on, we've got another very interesting topic, how to create a website, so to say. However, I've divided this topic into two halves, part 1 and part 2. And right now we're going to have a look into part 1. Okay, so let me now get into my PPT. Okay. Yes. Yeah. Okay. So what are we going to discuss in this? We're going to see how to book a domain name and a web hosting, and we'll also see how to add a domain name to server, to a web server, right? Okay. So we can close this. Close this too. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to open. Okay, it's already open. Okay, now first we'll see. I have to work with this toolbar, so I'm just keeping this open here. Okay, so first we'll see as to the domain. So if I have to buy a domain, for example, first I have to search for a domain name, right? Okay. So let me see if the domain name that I want to have is available first of all. Okay. So for example, if I want to write a blog on Bangalore food, for example, Bangalore food review.com, I'll first have to see if this domain name is available at the first place. Okay. Hopefully it is. Fingers crossed. Okay. Okay, it's already taken. Sorry, BangaloreFoodReview.com is taken. However, I can take it by paying this brokerage service, but I would not like to do as of now. I've got an alternative in the food of BangaloreFoodReview.in, which I can get it at 149 rupees, right? Then I have few more options. This I've already seen. Okay, BangaloreFoodReviews.com. This I can get at 499 rupees. BangaloreFoodReview.store I can get at this amount. BangaloreFoodReview.co.in I can get a very cheap amount of 99 rupees. Okay, and okay, going down. Okay, now one interesting thing that we'll see right now is that there are also premium websites. Now, according to GoDaddy, this is the foodreview.com is a premium website because it is supposed to attract more viewers. So they have set a premium price of a whopping 2,08,582 rupees. Okay. Then any more premium websites? Okay, one more. Okay, this is nothing related to my thing. Okay, yeah. So what I can do is that I can select any of the alternatives here if I am a bit price conscious. This looks fine, BangaloreFoodReview.in. Yeah. Or otherwise, I can find a few more of the website names. Okay, domain names, so to say. Now what I have to do is that now I'll see in terms of hosting. Okay. Now when it comes to hosting, as we'll see, web hosting. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Now before going for web hosting, let me tell you that it is quite possible that you have a domain name from one service provider like GoDaddy, and also you can have a web hosting from another service provider. That is also quite possible. But in this example, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to take both the domain name and the web hosting from the same platform, that is your GoDaddy. Okay. So here, if you see the first very basic option that I have, the starter, 99 rupees per month. Okay, and so this is a very basic plan with 512 MB RAM, one website, of course. Then you got 30 GB storage, one free one-click WordPress install. Okay. Now in the second option, if you see, which they call it economy, which is which of course will have one website, 100 GB storage, one unmetered bandwidth, 10 databases, one WordPress install. Okay, here if you see, you got one email also. As against this, you didn't have any email ID. Here you will get free professional email ID. Okay, email, and then one. Okay, very importantly, you will get a free domain in this entire pack. So you will get a domain, in this in this itself. Okay. So this looks quite okay. Okay. So you basically have to add to the cart and buy this. Okay. Now I'll go to a live example wherein I have already bought my domain name and the web hosting from GoDaddy. So I'll go to my personal account. Okay. And here what I'll do. Okay, I have to bring. Okay, I have to bring it down. Okay. Okay. Now this is my dashboard. Okay. This is my. I'll go to my dashboard so that I can show it from the start. Okay. Okay. So here what I have to do is I have to go to my products. Okay. This is my domain name, as you can see, tennisforindia.com. And I had taken the web hosting plan, which is economy Linux hosting with cPanel. cPanel is nothing but control panel. Okay. Okay. Now, since this is already bought, so that's why it is showing as manage. Okay. But when you're doing it for the first time, when you're buying your domain name and your web hosting for the first time, they will have an option of setup. So basically, you just set it up, and then your next step comes. Okay. Now before setting it up, what I'll do is that I'll go to this DNS. Okay. I click on this DNS, and I'll see the name servers. Okay. So as I go down, this is the DNS management. Okay. So here, if you see, there are two name servers. Okay. Now in this, I don't have anything to do because these two name servers are connected, because both my domain name and your web hosting are done from GoDaddy itself. So it's automatically connected. But if in case, for example, if I had a domain name from GoDaddy and if I had a hosting plan from another service provider, then I had to go for change and then accordingly, do it. But in this case, I don't have to do anything. Because both my domain name and my web hosting are from GoDaddy. Okay. Okay. Now I go back. Okay. Okay. If you remember, just a few minutes back, I told you that in the web hosting plan that I had bought, when you actually do it for the first time, instead of manage, it will show as setup. Okay. Now when you click the setup, what will happen is that it will ask you to select your domain name. Okay, whatever you had bought it for. Okay, and then after selecting the domain name, what will happen is that it will build your cPanel basically. cPanel is nothing but a control panel. And then it is from the cPanel that you can actually manage your website, so to say. Okay, and when you're getting your cPanel ready, it'll take some time. It'll take about a few minutes or so before you actually get your cPanel ready. And once you get your cPanel, you will get this option of manage. Okay, then you will have this option of manage. So now I'll click and show it to you how your cPanel will actually look like. Okay. So currently what I'm doing is that I'm going to my cPanel after setting it up, so to say. Okay, so this is the cPanel admin that I go. Okay. So here you can see my username is Konkan Mahanta, then you can see the shared IP address. Okay, then you see the last login IP address and all that stuff. Okay, this is my usage, file usage, all the memory usage that you can see. Okay, and yeah, so this part we'll take it in the next session as to how to install WordPress from here. So that is the next step. So I'm not looking into this at the moment. And here I can see my mail ID also. So in my current plan, I can actually have 100 mail IDs. Okay. Yeah. So these are my mail IDs. One was given by default. Okay. And so currently I've got 2 mail IDs. I still have 98 more mail IDs that I can make out of this. Okay. Yes. So so that's basically about the part 1, wherein we saw that first how to select your domain name, right? And in the domain name that you select, it might not be available the first time, the domain that name that you wanted, but you still can have a few alternatives. At the same time, you also have to see that you might have to pay a premium for certain domain names, right? So that you have to see how comfortable you are paying such a big amount. At times it goes to more than a lakh also, depending on depending on the value of set by the service provider, so to say. Then after that we saw that you can have domain name and the web hosting from 2 different service provider, right? But in this case, what we saw was that we had domain name and the web hosting from the same service provider, that is GoDaddy, right? So the first step is to get your is to get your cPanel, basically control panel, right? And you saw how to get the control panel, right? Then after you get the control panel, you basically get the whole of managing a website from the control panel. So that's about it in terms of the part 1 of the of this session of creating a website. In the second in the second session in part 2, so to say, we will see as to how to install website from the cPanel. Okay, and then following that, we'll see the other related stuff around WordPress. How to install WordPress from cPanel, so to say, and then accordingly we'll also see as to how to build a website out of the WordPress platform. So that's about it for this session. I hope you enjoyed it, like I always do, and yes, see you again.